Hempstead County is thriving. Homegrown is your local source for all things happening in and around Hempstead County. Join us each week as we dive into casual conversations about all of the things that make Hempstead County thrive. I'm Amanda Lance, here with Lindsey Honea, Jennifer Block, and Jennifer Cunningham. Now let's dig in. So welcome to episode 3 of Homegrown.
Third time's a charm.
Third time is a charm. Wow. And welcome back, JB. We're so happy to have you back with us.
Thank you. I did my duty, got my second shot, and it just put me under the weather. So I'm glad to be back. Glad to be vaccinated.
You're glad to be vax with us?
I'm glad to be vax.
What?
Get vax.
So I also had my second shot this week, and I can attest to that second shot is a booger.
It really is.
It's tough. Lindsey, I think, possibly went through the first phase of this. And what was your review, Lindsey?
Okay, look. Let it be known that this was a spur of the moment situation, right? And I was like, okay, we'll get that. It's fine. What happened was I ended up, I guess it's called COVID arm, where you get like
COVID arm.
There's like a thing growing out of your arm.
Yeah, it's almost like it's not really an allergic reaction, but it's like a gigantic whelp where they injection
Laura Beth,
was.
can you please comment on our feed and tell us what we're saying wrong?
Yeah, exactly. And so that happened for a hot minute, and I was like, wow, it's kind of sore. And then all of a sudden there was like that 101 fever thing for a couple hours, and I was like, okay. But then it was fine, which is again better than having COVID.
Yes, and so that's what I was going to say is that I have had COVID at some point, and there's a whole story about saying at some point because I never tested positive. It was a whole ordeal. But I will tell you this: I will gladly take a day or 2 days to deal with the fever and the chills and the not pleasant side effects, to not have to deal with 3 weeks of it.
Yes. I would definitely be there with you to
or
do
any
that.
of the other complications that go with it, or passing it on to someone else. No, I'm this is not a political statement. This is just sharing our experience. So while we were running fever, that kind of brings up what maybe our theme might be for this week.
Hey, this week we are running businesses, running organizations. Our guests may have even run a marathon this week. When we think of running, how does this relate to Thrive?
Well, I mean, I think of Thrive as being the starting point for where we could go, and we're taking that project and we're running with it. We are doing what we can to show progress for the items that Hempstead County told us that they wanted.
And, I think activities have to run now. It's time for us to get off the couch and, slowly start getting back to where we're all engaging again as much as possible, still safely. We have to always remember to still be safe. It's hard after you get the vaccine, but, we still have to have caution. But things have to run in order for us to truly be thriving and getting through that process.
I think it kind of touches back on last week's theme of innovation. I mean, you keep moving ahead, you keep running forward. I think of the businesses that offered curbside service or delivery where they didn't do that before. And so they kept running right ahead.
I think of run as an action word, kind of like what the other Jennifer was nicely saying, is you can have these great ideas, but nothing's going to work if you don't put it into action. So running with it. Last week we talked about make it work. Well, this week it's run with it.
Running.
Okay, so in our group, are there any runners or joggers or walkers? Lindsey, I think you've got some personal stories from this week.
Yeah, I finally decided maybe, like you were saying, like get off the couch kind of a thing. I was like, maybe it's time for me to do that couch to 5K.
Oh, wow.
Not getting to the 5K point. Let's go and be honest. I've tried that
We
once.
were so pumped for you.
I know, yeah. No, I'm pumped for myself that I'm off the couch. I feel like that's enough, right? I mean, like, yeah. So no, I've been I hit up the college walking trail.
So, okay, kind of trying to get back with our theme of running. What is a project this week that you have run with?
We are planning at ROC to do our annual staff appreciation, used to be banquet, but this year, of course, it's going to be what we're calling a virtual event, and we're going to live stream to Facebook. So I have actually been teaching myself how to be a broadcaster, and I know Amanda will appreciate that some.
And so you're doing that here at Hempstead Hall, and
Yes.
you know that we've got all of the new equipment where Catherine and Chloe and I can walk you through being
you
you
I'm
get to
just
use this
so
microphone
nervous.
right here.
I'm just so nervous of all of your fancy equipment.
You're using it right now,
Well, that's because I'm here.
and it'll be just as comfortable. Like you
I don't know.
you would literally
We're
be
gonna have to talk
talking.
about
You'd
that.
be
Right.
talking to Kat and Chloe.
I don't know.
Now,
I don't know.
right now it's baby steps. Next week,
Baby
run
steps.
with it.
That's right.
I mean, she might
Run
even have a
with it.
microphone that she keeps in her purse for emergencies.
I mean, mine's rose gold, but baby steps again.
Baby steps.
so the virtual experience for your annual banquet. Talk about how that is it's a change from last year or from 2 years ago.
Yes. And it's the one time a year that, because we do have so many employees that are not located centrally, they're all over Southwest Arkansas. So that event is the one time we get everybody together and we get to see their faces. We get to feed them dinner and tell them how much we appreciate them. So it's just, it's hard this year. We've tried to think outside of the box, keep everybody safe, but yet still let the employees know how much we depend on them, because without them, we would not have a job and our clients would not be served.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're really doing our best effort to make sure that everybody still gets to have some of that experience, even though we're not all of us together in person. But yeah, it's going to be a fun little event. I'm excited about it.
You're running with that creativity.
I am running with the creativity that I have had to teach myself this week.
So, anybody else have a project that they've run with this week that they want to share?
I explained how I got off the couch and started walking, which I feel like is eventually going to
is?
lead to running.
Oh,
so
goals.
Thank you.
That is
Didn't
awesome.
you have a story about?
Okay, yes.
Running.
So, Lindsey, please tell us about your train days running experience.
In all honesty, it started a couple of years ago, and my brother and niece and nephew came into town, and I decided that, he decided for me that we were going to do the 5K, and I did not want to do it. And I eventually agreed to do it, but in a true me fashion. I was like, I'm just going to walk. I'm going to take my time, right? And I did. There were some stray
Enjoy
dogs.
the scenery.
Yeah, there was a cat. I was like, oh, look. I mean,
You
I
made
helped
friends.
I did. I helped a lady with a stroller. There were things,
Oh
right? Like I
my.
took my time.
See, that's
I was
my
like,
type of
yeah.
running
more
experience
of a
right there.
stroll.
It was. Well, I feel like if somebody signs me up to a 5K, this is what they should expect,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm
There
just
you
going to
go.
take my.
That's
You
your
did.
version of
Yeah.
couch to 5K. It's like
wanna-
eventually I will meet a dog and a woman with a stroller.
I don't want to overdo it.
Dream big.
Thank you. So everything is said and done, and I finally crossed the finish line, and I let the person in front of me go, and I was dead last, like the last person to cross.
Congratulations.
I know. Thank you. Right. And then
That's a
it.
special talent.
it is, right? And then my name's it gets called, and I think, okay, this is awesome. They have like a last place prize. Yes.
Oh wow.
Turns out I was the only person in my age division.
Winner.
Yes.
Chicken dinner.
I have the trophy to prove it.
Oh my. So, JC, you also have an interesting
Yes.
running story.
About a 5K. Now, I didn't get a trophy, and this 5K took place in Canada.
Fancy.
So I
How
was
did
in
that happen?
I was in Canada with my mom and dad. My dad used to be part owner of Hope Concrete here and was part of the National Precast Concrete Association, and they have an annual national event. Yes, I know the irony is not lost on me. A national event was held in Canada. But we all went to Canada. It was fun times. I got my passport, all good stuff. And I signed up to do this 5K because it benefits I believe it's students getting like a master's degree in concrete engineering, because that's a thing. U of A Fayetteville has it. And so I'm like, yes, of course I would love to send some engineers to school. Let's sign up for this. And I signed up as a runner. My mom signed up as a walker. We finished the 5K. It was beautiful in Vancouver. About a month later, I get a card in the mail from the National Precast Concrete Association. And I'm thinking,
Is it a picture of the person that you're sending to college?
Did I sponsor this student? What's going on? It was a $50 Visa gift card. And I'm thinking, what? But there was a note with it. And the note read, "Dear Jennifer, thank you for participating in our annual 5K for the National Precast Concrete Association. Please enjoy this $50 for being our first place walker."
Oh, gosh.
Now, I signed up as a runner.
And I'm assuming that you put in the effort and you ran.
Jogging, maybe.
Okay.
But yes, and there were animals involved on the trail because it was against like the seawall. Beautiful scenery. I mean, Vancouver's beautiful.
So you were just stopping to visit like some animals?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
basically,
They were foreign animals because they're Canadian.
Canadian animals.
And
how different are they from U.S. animals?
That's what kind of animals are we talking about?
They have an accent, like a raccoon and maybe a goose.
Oh, okay.
A goose.
A raccoon.
We have those in Southwest Arkansas as well.
But I'd never seen one in Vancouver.
Okay.
Did you ask them for their passport?
No.
You know they do travel south for
They
the winter.
do. They do.
Oh my gosh! I may see them again.
migrate.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, I felt like it was dishonest, but at the same time, it was their mistake, so I did keep the $50.
Was
Well,
it $50 US or Canadian?
It was a Visa gift card, and see the Concrete Association was an American association, so it was fine. It just hurt my pride a little bit, but it was nothing that $50 couldn't fix.
Okay. So your pride is available for $50.
Yes. Did the Visa $50 go towards walking shoes?
Or running shoes.
No,
Oh.
but there is a pretty good chance that it went towards shoes, to be fair.
Oh.
So.
Just not of the running persuasion.
Oh no, yeah.
Okay.
No
So
more.
if we were as a group to take Lindsey's approach and try the Couch to 5K and eventually become runners, a mantra is something that some runners like to have as they're running to keep them motivated and going. So let's just go around the room. What would your mantra be?
I'll start.
Okay.
My running mantra. Don't do it.
So positive.
I know. See, it's perfect for me. Just don't do it.
Oh.
Mine would be breathe.
Integral part.
Because yes, running is cardiovascular activity, so you need to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth to keep up your stamina. In reality, that's the physical running. In my mind, though, for a mantra, I know we mentioned like run with it. Running is an action word to have ideas, and I wrote down a little quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. And it made me think of running. So the quote is, "Knowledge is power, but enthusiasm pulls the switch." So again, you can have a great idea, but unless you do the action of running with it and putting it into place, putting that action into it, that's what pulls the switch. Nothing's going to happen unless you make the effort to run with it.
That's awesome. I would probably steal from Dory. Just keep running. Just keep running, running. Lindsey, what have you got?
Most of the time, it's usually like what Jennifer said, that just breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Oh my God, why can't I breathe? Why is this bad? Or the entire time this has been stuck in my head. Well, we've been here running and running.
Yeah.
That is. But again, I don't really run. So
Okay, so if we took all of our mantras and applied them to Thrive and how we could help move our county along, let's talk about that. So, okay, let's start with just don't do it.
Yes. Don't stay in the background. We need to get up
Nice.
and we need to run with it.
Nice.
Stop waiting for somebody else to create the wonderful thing that we all want for our community, and be that first person and take the step forward and say, okay, I'm ready to run with it. Give me something to do.
I like it.
That's great.
Thank you.
JC?
So with the knowledge is power, but enthusiasm pulls the switch, and running, apply that to an idea. A great idea is not great if it stays stagnant. And, Sharon last week talked about the stagnant pool, and that makes me think, let's run it. Again, ideas are great, but it takes that action. So time is, man, I sound so old. The times are a-changing, but they do. Time goes so quickly. And so if we don't take that action to act on our ideas now, it's going to make it harder to thrive down the line.
And that's, I think, with the just keep running, kind of the Dory Cop-off. Find something, anything, become passionate about it, and that passion is going to ignite a lot of action.
Okay, I'm going to steal all of you guys's and then shove them into mine, okay?
fair.
Do it.
Yeah, no, it's happening.
Run with it.
Oh, see, exactly. So you have to be passionate about something, and you also have to, if you have this great idea, right? The thing is not to just let other people come up
Right.
with it and you not do anything. You have to be there. You have to support it. You have to be a part of it. And the other thing is, and I think, for instance, when I have tried running, I get tired so quickly, right?
Yes.
And so it's about stamina. Like you have to keep it going, even though you may be tired of doing something for a little bit, or there's a project that you're working on and you get to that point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, but you have to keep pushing through.
Well, and Lindsay, you said something. I've been around a lot of people who have great ideas, but they're for someone else to implement.
Right.
I know people who are, hey, here's the great idea. So-and-so, you should do this. We need great ideas, but more than that, we need people who are going to do the great ideas.
Right.
So coming up with the idea is only part of the solution. If you have the great idea, be willing to help see it through. Don't just toss that on to someone and hope for the best. If you feel passionate about that being a good idea, get involved and help make that happen. And that's something that I think we could do to see a running change within the community.
I like that. And don't be afraid. Don't think that you can't do whatever idea that it is. Don't let that hold you back, because, hey, even if you run the race and are scared to do it, you might win a $50 Visa gift
This
card.
is true. This is true.
Or come in first in your age
There you
group.
go.
Yeah, hey.
Endless possibilities.
So,
Right.
Dawn Steele, we may need to talk about some rules for the next watermelon 5K.
Like if you
yeah.
come in, no, that
Yeah,
was okay.
for
that's a good
sure.
point.
Okay. Rave wheel.
Rave. It's time for the rave wheel. Each week, our host will bring topics to rave about. We randomly pick a topic, and then we do our best to spread some positivity. If you want to participate and submit a rave, head over to Thrive Hempstead County's Facebook page and leave us a message.
Okay, so this week on the rave wheel, we have opposite day, events are coming back, the food pantry, Star Academy, healthy walking trails, and thank you for keeping me fed. All right, so let's give the wheel a spin. And it's landed on Star Academy.
That's mine. So I'm really excited because I just found out earlier this week that we're going to actually be able to do the Stars Academy with the Art Council this year. It's things that we've done before in the past for the last, I forgot how many years now, and it's basically a kids theater. We actually hire a director to come down.
It's JC's best dream.
Yes, it's a
I
lot
love
of,
theater.
and so
Surprise,
you're gonna love
we're,
this.
We're going to have you come back and help with this.
Yay!
Yay.
I'm
Okay, I'm
excited.
sorry, Lindsay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I can't hear. No, and so obviously last year we couldn't do it because of COVID. So this year it looks like we're going to be able to, and we've got Chris Espinoza again and he's going to come down for a week. And after the week of practice and play rehearsal and fun things like that, they get to put on their own, I think it's usually about a 30-minute to 45-minute little play. And we're super excited, and everybody's helping.
Yes, and one of the things that I am excited about with Star Academy this year is that we've put in a few extra steps, and we have prop design, backdrop design, character development. So depending on the type of production that Chris is going to do, Catherine may or may not be helping bring a petting zoo to Hempstead Hall so that the kids can learn how to behave like farm animals.
Ooh,
They don't need any help with that.
I can bring my goats.
Yes.
I could bring my goats.
And so that does sound crazy, but when you're talking about putting on a Western and teaching kids how to act like a cow, sometimes it's nice for them to see a cow and how a cow naturally moves. And a goat would be a great one.
Yes.
A sheep. I feel like Catherine has several lambs at the moment that could come in. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so just trying to find ways to keep people engaged even when they're not doing dialogue on the stage.
True. Good point. I'm excited.
It's going to be great. So look for more information about Star Academy from the Southwest Arkansas Arts Council. That'll be posted on our Facebook page at SW_AR Arts. We're on Facebook and Instagram, and you can find us at SWArkansasArtsCouncil.org for more information about Star Academy and any other programs that we have available. So let's spin that wheel again. And it's landed on the food pantry.
Hey, so we know that March is Women's History Month, but did you guys know that March is also National Nutrition Month?
No, tell us more.
Okay, I didn't know until recently either. But that is a campaign created by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and it made me think just about nutrition. Of course, I work on a college campus, UAHT, and sometimes there's food insecurity. I don't think we talk about that enough because I think there's
There's a regional food bank. We've got another food bank here in Hope. Each of the Hope Public School campuses have a food pantry that's available to the students and staff. I mean, when you say it's an issue, it is an issue.
Yeah.
And thankfully, it's one that is being addressed. And I love the way that our campus is doing it. So
Yes, so our Dean of Students has put together, it's called the Iron Horse Food Pantry, and it's available on both campuses to students. And what's so cool is that it's an anonymous online request form. So a student doesn't have to let everybody know that they're in need of something. And I think it's cool. I think it's like a candy bar, you're not you when you're hungry.
Snickers.
Snickers, that's the same with students. I mean, they really can't focus on learning
I know I'm that way.
if they're hungry or they have a food insecurity of whatever kind. So they collect donations and they have different drives each month. So last month they collected 196 toothpaste for students.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So March is travel size shampoo. And the drop-off location is on the Hope Campus Administration Building. If anyone wants to donate, I think that's such a cool thing to provide for our students again, because they're not able to study and be at their best self if they're hungry, if they're battling this food insecurity. So props to, that's my rave, the UAHT Iron Horse Food Pantry.
Well, and I'm going to tag on to this because just yesterday, Dean Smith and I had talked about adding a freebie option for some of our movies. So if you bring the item of the month, which this month it is travel size shampoo, as Jennifer said, if you bring travel size shampoo to Wonder Woman, which is being played March 19th and 20th, or Nacho Libre, which is being played on March 21st, we'll give you a free bag of popcorn. So
That's so worth it.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna help the campus, and you get some free popcorn that's also very, very good.
Well, and it's so easy to do.
Yeah.
I mean, who can't just swing by, that
Swing by
aisle
Walmart
at the store? Right.
Or hey, when you're doing your Walmart pickup,
Yes. Just
it's
include
real
it
easy.
in there.
Include it. Yeah. So, that's excellent. Well, let's see what else is on the wheel. And it's landed on, thank you for keeping me fed.
Yes, that one is mine. And thank you to all the local small restaurant businesses for keeping me fed during COVID. I can't thank you guys enough. I'm one of those people, I don't like getting out of my car to go get something to eat. You know, I tend to be just the drive-through junkie, although I do try to eat well. So anyway, you know, back when COVID first hit, restaurants are closed, businesses are closed, you know, people had to find a way to still make it. And one of their options that they created for themselves is doing curbside pickup. I just want to say thank you to all those businesses that did that. Because of that, I mean, I understand your side of it. You know, it kept you, you know, earning money, but you did such a service to our community by keeping everybody fed, because I can't go without my tailgaters. And I know I'm not supposed to plug anybody, but when I call, the ladies are, "Hi, Jennifer, you want your usual?" Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Does everyone have that experience at tailgaters? Because when I call and tell them my name, they're like, "Okay, is this going to be curbside today?" I'm like, "Yep, nope, it is."
Yes.
Yeah, if I change it up, they're like, "Are you sure you didn't want fried pickles?"
Yeah, exactly.
And same thing at Hebrews too. Like when I call, I'm usually like, "Hi, so I'm going to call in a big order," because usually if I'm calling it in, it's because I'm calling it in for the office. And so that's been one of the features that I love.
Right.
And I you know, Sharon was on last week and she said curbside is something that's going to stick around. And how excellent is that?
That is amazing for them. So, you know, it's just amazing how the restaurants were so willing to go outside of, you know, their normal comfort zones to keep people like me fed. Thank you.
That's amazing. And we are appreciative to all of our businesses, small, large, mid-size, all of our businesses. We really appreciate all that you've done to keep us going, keep running.
Both our hearts and our bellies are full.
Yes.
That's right. Yes.
All right, well, let's give it one more spin, see what we can come up with. And it's landed on opposite day. Okay, so that was mine. Okay, so I need everyone to kind of follow with me for just a moment. We're recording this on March 11th, 2021. I don't know if you remember where you were on March 12th and March 13th of 2020, but I can guarantee you that everyone at this table remembers exactly where they were on both of those days. Just for a little bit of reference, Jennifer Cunningham and Lindsey and Catherine and Chloe and I had been working on a project for 6 months, 7 months. It had been a good chunk of our lives devoted to putting on the first community theater production that we had had in over a year and establishing a community theater troupe so that we could make this an ongoing process. And our first production was Rehearsal the Show, and it was set to premiere on Friday the 13th, Friday, March 13th. And
looking back, should we have really thought about that?
We did, but we joked about it, and we were kind
we
were pretty much like, I mean, everything's kind of been Murphy's Law.
We thought we were in on the joke.
We thought we were in on the joke. Little did we know COVID was sneaking around the corner.
It was just waiting.
It was. Yep. And I remember vividly going into dress rehearsal on the 12th and getting a text from my boss at the time and saying, "I need you to put a plan into place beginning tomorrow to take this virtually. We'll talk in the morning. Decision hasn't been made yet, but start working on that." And, you know, looking back just a year ago, that was how fast things moved. I mean, we didn't know day to day what was happening. Was it safe to be around other people? How was this thing being spread? What were the protocols that needed to be put in place? And I just remember getting that text and pulling JC and Lindsey aside and showing it to them and saying, okay, we've got to make it through dress rehearsal as if nothing has happened. Everyone just needs to give it their best during dress rehearsal, and we'll talk about it in the morning. And that's what we did. And at 7:55, I was banging on the door for them to let me in so that we could get this meeting started. And the decision came pretty quickly. There's not going to be an audience. But don't let that stop the show from going on. And that really was the start. It was the impetus of, you can't do this right now, but what can you do to achieve the same end result that you were aiming for before? So if the end result that we were aiming for was to bring community theater to the community, I would say that rehearsal of the show was a success.
No, I think it was too. When you even think about the fact that we were told, hey, you can't have an audience basically the day of.
Yes.
Right? It's like, okay, an innovation. It was like, all right, something totally different. And props to Amanda.
Well,
absolutely.
So I have to say that I came back to my office and I pulled John and I pulled Chloe and Kat in and we sat there and we went, who knows about broadcasting online? Like, anybody? I mean, like, I know how to push the button on Facebook Live, but like, outside of that, anybody? Nope. Anybody? Okay. So we looked into what it would take to get it up and live on YouTube, which is arguably the most popular platform that people would have access to. There's a 24-hour waiting period to make that happen. And so it was probably 2 or 3 hours of just roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And I had put out a press release that was saying we were going to do this virtually and that details would follow. And that spurred a conversation from SWARC today. So Dylan Kelsey gave me a call and was just like, hey, is there anything we can do to help? And kind of explained the situation. He goes, well, so here's the thing. I think that we can actually broadcast that for you. And it was in that moment that he and Bryn drove over to the office immediately and we worked out a plan. And just within a few short hours, we had that set up to go virtually. And I think back on that, and now knowing what it takes to put on a virtual event, the fact that we were able to pull that off within a matter of hours is incredible.
That is amazing.
Yep.
And it wouldn't have been possible if there weren't people who said, no, community first.
I think that goes full circle to what we were talking about when it was very easy for our whole group to get discouraged. I mean, you had said we worked on this for months, putting it together. We were all so excited. This was going to be our debut SWACtors performance for the Southwest Arkansas Arts Council Community Theater Troupe. And so many roadblocks, it would be so easy to just say, oh, well, we
just cancel it and we'll go on.
But having those people that are willing to run with it, that are willing to carry on the race until they win first prize. I'm winking at you, Lindsey.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Yeah.
And so, go ahead.
And then something that I was really impressed with all that also is it reached more people
Yes.
than it would have because people were also scared at this point too, right? With good reason.
But I think that even reasonably, when we had talked about what in-person numbers would be, we were optimistic that we might have 200 people to come see a community theater production. And I think that's a reasonable assumption.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I looked back at my notes today and we reached over 750 devices. So think about the fact that I know that Jennifer's now husband was watching this in Alabama with how many other people?
At least 3.
At least 3.
Yeah.
I know of many people who were texting me during the performance and they were watching it with their families. So you have to assume that every device represents at least 2 to 3 people. And when you think about the reach that we had with that, I mean, that's incredible. That's more than what can sit in this theater.
Yep. It's thoroughly impressive. Like,
And
yeah.
it's kind of like it's a testament to, I mean, all of our local actors that came together for the performance. It was kind of like a pat on the back. Look what you
Yes.
did. Look at all the
Yeah.
people who wanted to see you.
Yes. Well, and, again, it met our end goal. Our end goal was to bring community theater to the community. And we just expanded the community. It went outside of Hempstead County. There were many people from other states. We had a few international viewers. And that's not something that you can do with just an in-person event. And so I think that's I'm going to end this rave. I'm going to wrap up this whole like spiral of raving by saying that if anything that we can take positively from COVID, there's a way we can extend our reach if we will just think outside the box.
That's right.
And then take those ideas and run with them.
Right. And look at where we are now and what we were able to do over Christmas with that situation, with the second production, and how much it changed from then until, December when we did it again.
And so I'm sure 6 months from now, this will probably make it on the rave wheel again.
Yes.
But Hope for the Holidays was another just
Yes.
COVID hits you in ways that you never see coming.
Right.
And that entire production we did it because it was a sped up timeline in the sense that from the SWACTers perspective, we anticipated doing one production per year. Well, we already did that in March, but the fact that we had been stagnant and people were yearning to do something during that time, and we had time on our hands, and we said, well, hey, we can pull something together. It'll be great. Like, let's talk about this. We can make this happen. And we did. But then COVID threw curveball after curveball after curveball. And I can tell you without a doubt, the production that we put on, I am proud of it. I think that it is wonderful. It is unique. It is not something that could ever be replicated. That's also not the production that we had envisioned.
Oh, no, not at all. No.
Things happen.
Things
and
happen.
you make it happen. You run with it.
That's right. We ran with it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point where you hit a brick wall and we just kept running.
We did. It hurt for a minute.
It did. But okay, well, that wraps up at the rave wheel. Woohoo! Woo!
This week, we're joined by Don Steele, who is the new mayor of Hope. He is also the owner of Steele's Auto and an instrumental part of Hope Running Club, which organizes the Watermelon 5K each year.
Don also served on the task force for Thrive Hempstead County, and as he just said, he floated around from all of the groups, but mostly stayed on the tourism group. So welcome, Don, and after you tell us hi, tell us a little bit about being part of that task force.
Well, I'm glad to come out and visit with you guys. The task force was a really eye-opening experience for me because it got really people involved with the community that probably doesn't get a voice. And we had a good group come out, and there was probably 20 to 25 in each group, and each of them got input on. I sat in on tourism a lot, and we talked about how to just bring people up to speed about what all there is to do in South Arkansas and how to promote it. We kind of ran into a roadblock with the COVID, but we hope to see it through. I think they're trying to get it back together so we can finish up.
Well, and that's good. I mean, we are making progress just kind of in the background. So one of the big things that came out of that was a county-wide website that I got access this week to start entering events into a community calendar. So there's progress being made there. And then this podcast is something that came out of it. So just another way to share the information about what is already happening in Hope. Jennifer both were on the task force on the quality of life sector with me. And so all of us have kind of been through that experience and have put a little time into this. And so I think we all want to definitely see it through.
Yes.
Yes,
I
definitely.
I don't think that's a problem with seeing it through. I think we just need to focus on where we can make the progress and move forward. Really got a lot going on with way of tourism with the new playgrounds in town and just the parks opening back up. That's going to be the number one thing for tourism and for quality of life, is getting our parks reopened where we can meet and where we can start moving forward.
And we would like to be open here at Hempstead Hall as well to help with that effort. It's just that we're almost there. The end is in sight. We just have to few more weeks, few more months, and it'll all come back together.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to choose one item or direction for Thrive to run with, what would that be?
Probably just to keep the community involved. I was really impressed with the people that came out and had a voice and really wanted to get involved with us with the process. That was really encouraging. I think the city board, Steve and I was out here and a few more, we pretty well sat back and just listened and to see how the committees would go. Being on tourism and also the mayor, I didn't want to take charge, so we just sat back and let it go and had some really good ideas. I know in our tourism, and I went over to economic development and really encouraging to see the people that are excited about Hope.
What are you most looking forward to as Hope's mayor?
Well, I've being a lifelong resident of Hope, I've always been excited about being involved. My wife and I was talking about, I think I've been on the board over 20 years, 25, and a lot of changes. We've seen a lot of companies come and go, but it's exciting. We got a great opportunity with the railroad and the interstate and everything right here. I think we're in a good spot. Dancing coming in is a really big thing for us. I'm really excited about getting a new corporation, 50 to 100 workers.
So what are you excited about barbecuing with the Danson's wood pellets?
I'm looking forward to getting one. I've seen them and I'm excited about using the product. But I'm excited to get the group down here to do the grand opening and get to know them. They seem like a really good bunch, hometown, family oriented. So we'll just see if we can get them into town and really give them that Hope welcome.
Well, and it's been neat to see the transformation from the old GP plant into what Danson's is going to need it for. And they're keeping a lot of the same equipment, but they're taking out a whole lot too and really retrofitting it to be more of a distribution center than what GP was using it for. So it's exciting to see one of the existing buildings that we had taken and used for something new and exciting.
Yeah, it's amazing how short a time it spent vacant, because some of those buildings, they really need a lot of upkeep from just sitting, but this one was ready to go, and I think that's one thing that they came in and saw and decided to move on in. But anybody expanding a business with COVID, I'm really impressed. Anybody that's making a footprint and trying to move forward. So I'm looking forward to them.
So how important do you think that something like quality of life is to bringing in a Danson's or a new industry into town?
Well, it's just like when somebody comes to town, they got a new look. We drive down the roads every day and we kind of pick and choose what we want to look at. So we definitely need to look at the city from every aspect, and parks, recreation, just quality of life. And I think that's one thing we've seen looking at Little Rock and other places like that. Outside trails, you're talking about running. I think anything that activities we can get to get physical activity is a good thing. And I hope we can keep pushing the park recreation program and other things in the city to keep it moving forward.
That brings another question that I had. I keep hearing about a bike trail situation.
Yep.
And is that up and going? Is that tell me about that. 'Cause I'm kind of excited.
That's putting my other hat on with the running club, the Milton Vine Striders. About 15 years ago, we had an opportunity to buy a railroad which runs from 4 miles south of Hope all the way to the Louisiana line. And it's a bicycle trail. We call it a big tire. It's not 18 speed or anything like that. It's more of a cross country. It is gravelled. We got it opened. You can get on the trail right now at Patmos and go south for about 6 miles, and it is open. It's
Is there a trail marker?
yeah, it's just the old railroad. You can go to downtown Patmos and you'll see the railroad, and you can go south from there. But we have a building there and some signage. We're working on signage. Paul Henley and I started this project about 10 years ago, and we've held on to it with the vision of having, we take what we have for granted, the outdoors and the freedom and just the landscape. But people from a big city, they would really, I think they'd be really neat to get on this trail and ride for 20 miles without hardly seeing anybody.
Oh my, yeah.
I love that idea. And honestly, I know what we're doing next, ladies.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, this is happening.
Wait,
Going
first,
bike riding, that's what you're doing, yeah.
Okay,
I need to buy a bike.
Can we get like one of those tandem bikes though?
Yes,
Like,
please.
Well,
I don't know if that's any less or more
Yeah.
difficult to maneuver, but at least we'd be together.
Well, one thing we found when we've started this trail, it was pretty well a running and bike trail, but we have just about decided with the four-wheelers that you can drive your four-wheeler down there and ride the trail. That it doesn't hurt the trail, and we have a lot of four-wheelers on the trail, so it's that wide. You can actually take a four-wheeler. So there you go.
New
Four-wheeler,
plan.
I like that plan.
or a side-by-side. A lot of side-by-sides. So it is neat to get back. It runs all the way down to Stamps, all the way down to Louisiana line. Like I say, we're opening a little bit more at a time, but you can go about 5 to 6 miles from Patmos south.
Wow.
That's a great way to explore the area too.
So now we just need to get it connected to Hope. So
Right.
people have a way to get from Hope to there.
Right.
Then
And then
all
to
the way.
old historic Washington, and just have a fun
Yes.
little bike trail throughout the county.
Exactly. That would be perfect.
So, Dawn, our theme for the week is running. And how did you spend last weekend? And what results
Oh.
would you like to share from
well,
that?
we went to my family and I went to Little Rock for the Little Rock Marathon, but it was postponed. So we just went up for the weekend. But yeah, we do a lot. We got a pretty strong running club in Hope. We probably got 20, 25 members. We put on the Watermelon Festival. We put on a couple more train days, a few runs around. But there's a lot of activities around, a lot of people running and biking and around. So we do a lot of that. So.
Okay, and so we like to ask all of our guests a fun question. And JB, do you want to handle our fun question for the week?
Okay, so what is your favorite car?
Ooh. My wife would say a lot of cars.
Oh,
I've got
yeah?
a lot of cars.
Yeah,
I really
so
do. Yeah,
pick one.
probably 82 Corvette. That's probably
Ooh,
that's
a nice
that's what I'm
one.
working on now. So
Wow.
I've got one of those. And my wife would tell you I bring too many cars home.
Yep.
We don't want to count them tonight, so we'll just move on from that.
All right. Well, Dawn, is there anything that you wanted to share with the community that you brought in tonight?
No, we just got a lot of projects going with the city. I mean, it's always a full-time job. One thing that I would like to share is the amount of work that we accomplish with very small crews like this, like the sanitation department and city crews. They're all like a 4 or 5, 6 man crew, and they do a lot of work. A lot of people, a lot of hands during the days that you don't see behind the scenes. Sanitation, wastewater. So there's always a lot going on with the city, and I appreciate Catherine Cook keeping everything under control. Still, my number one question people ask me right now is, when is the Patmos Road going to be opened
Oh,
up?
please.
It's getting closer, isn't it?
Please.
Yeah, it is getting closer. We've got the pilings put in under the bridge, so we're working on the sides. So hopefully 3 to 4 weeks we'll be open. So that's one of the hot topics right now.
So we Beckie Moore came in today to do her Chamber Chatter segment, and we discussed the possibility of the Pocket Park downtown. So, what are your thoughts on that? Is that something that we could see happen?
Well, the city bought the land behind the bank building, First the bank building right there. And I think the downtown network was going to bring us some plans back. We're still kind of waiting on those. So that would be.
I think we've got a couple of people from the Arts Council, I guess all 4 of us, that would probably be available to help paint if you needed that.
Yes,
But
we'll be there.
I think the main thing is just getting the master plan started and moving forward. But I've asked about that before, and I think the downtown network was the lead cow right now on that. So
And so little projects like that, I think, are going to help show progress and just something bright and colorful that we can all look at.
one thing I would like to mention before we close up is we're working on the permits and everything to move the 4th of July fireworks show to the airport.
Oh, that's
So,
exciting.
so we're going to try to have food trucks and the whole bill. So
wow.
it's going to be a little bit different, but we hope to make it a little bit better. Methodist Church did it for years, but having some problems with getting the okay to do it. So we're going to just go ahead and move it to a neutral location.
That's exciting.
So that's something for the community to look forward to, I hope.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
that's on the horizon. So and if we have to space, we got plenty of space at the airport. We can put them like
Space.
a mile this way and a mile that way. So,
That's
right.
awesome. That really is.
That is exciting.
so that's something on the horizon for us to look forward to.
Really excited about that. Also, I noticed that the parks are hiring a new director of recreation. So talking about the parks gearing back up, there's a job opportunity for someone.
Yeah, that's the job that Summer had before, and she moved up, so we're filling that. And yeah, like I say, we were definitely in neutral last year. We're already getting calls about softball tournaments and baseball tournaments. So like I say, if somebody'd like to rent some of the buildings down there, we are taking reservations for the rental of property. So just call the parks and they'll tell you what's available. But it is some activity down there, and I'm looking forward to it.
Which is exciting. Well, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us for a few minutes, and we hope to have you back in the future. But
Sure.
you've been an amazing guest, and thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Looking forward to a good year and hope.
Absolutely. All right, so that brings us to what is next. I mean, first of all, let's just go back and Dawn Still, great guest. Like, yay.
Yeah.
I'm inspired.
Very informative.
Yes.
You had a lot for us.
Yes, and it does bring up the question, what is next? And so this is the time where we're going to let you know what's happening in the community. So every Thursday, we are having a webinar at Hempstead Hall in the Hope Suite from Strong Towns. Please register at Hempstead Hall at uaht.edu. Just let us know that you're coming. We'd love to have you there. Movies are back at Hempstead Hall. First... Yes, no, thank you. The first one is going to be Wonder Woman 1984 on March 19th and 20th. Head on over to hempsteadhall.com for the full lineup. One of the cool things that we're offering this time is order ahead concessions. So much like curbside, which we talked about before, and order ahead. Just go to hempsteadhall.com, select the movie that you're coming to, and there's an order form for those concessions. You pick them out, you pay for them, and then you show up, tell us your name, we give you your food, you go to your seat.
Wow.
That's fancy.
How easy.
How easy,
So
right?
nice.
So we're excited about that. Also coming up is Junior Auxiliary has several events coming up. So we have our Easter egg hunt on March 27th at 10 o'clock here at the UAHT walking trail. We also are going to be doing Egg My Yard again, and Lindsey and I have been talking about this and how fun it is to show up and play Easter Bunny.
Honestly, I'm really excited about this. I'm not going to
Yes,
lie.
She has a costume.
I might have some ears. I'm not okay, so is this not a great idea? And I can't exactly remember the cost. I want to say it's like...
It's $20 for a set number of eggs, and we'll post that in our show notes so that you can have access to that form.
Good thinking. And then at night, we basically bust into your yard, possibly wearing the ears, and we hide the Easter eggs so that when your kids wake up in the morning, they really think that the Easter Bunny may or may not have.
And parents, I mean, like, you don't have to do it. Like, that's the great part.
Right.
Is,
You know, this is a really good time to invest in one of those Ring doorbells that's like the video and it gets a notification. Imagine getting a notification on your phone
that the
that
Easter Bunny
J.A. and Easter Bunny friends are in your yard spreading Easter cheer.
And it really is fun. I mean, especially some of the bigger yards that we get to go do where you're literally just throwing eggs like wherever you can throw them.
Oh, I would have to be strategic. I would have to be like, this kid may or may not find this for about 3 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
and
I would be chunking them,
Yeah.
standing in one
And
spot.
so
Let's
We know who
get
the
it
deviled
there.
egg is here.
Yeah.
Yes, Lindsay. So, parents just know these are plastic eggs filled with candy. So don't worry about Lindsay hiding eggs that will never be found.
Okay, fine. fine.
That sounds fun.
Also, Junior Auxiliary has our annual golf tournament that's coming up on April 17th at the Hope Country Club.
Okay, I have a couple of questions about this. I'm going to
Okay.
be real honest because I don't golf. Okay, so I was looking in the pamphlet and it said that it's a golf scramble.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay. So JC is our resident golfer, and maybe she can help direct us in the correct drive. But
Ooh, drive. That's a good
Or is
one.
it running drive?
it is
Yeah.
a running
You
drive.
take a running drive.
So the way I understand it, a scramble is that everyone drives and then plays off of the best ball, and then they do that on every shot.
Yeah.
So you get to play from your best spot from your team.
So if you have a really good team member, like part of your scramble, I mean, you're really just playing their best game.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, so somebody who's not that great at golf could actually be part of this team
And
it's
still have a good
do well?
time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
See, that works good for me because I'd be the person in the back or the one going and picking up everybody else's balls.
But
when we
that's
got
the thing
done.
is that you get to experience the team like atmosphere
Yeah.
and just get off the couch.
You know, the
You
person
didn't
that
have
I
to
want
look
to
at
be
me like that.
in this is, you know, JA, if you're hiring, I could maybe get on a golf cart and like just blare some karaoke music with my little travel microphone. And then like other teams could pay me to go distract the other scramble team. I'm just putting it out there.
Oh, that is
For
a gr-
hire.
I can be
let
her
me
driver.
know.
Okay, so I do kind of like
can do
this.
that.
Like literally,
Yeah.
you just drive around the course, and when teams see
Yes.
you coming, they're like, "Oh heck no! Let me
I
give
mean-
you like $10, and you go to the next
Exactly.
hole."
I'm not saying that I'm annoying.
nice.
I'm just saying that people would probably pay not to hear me sing at the Tina Turner at the top
Oh,
of my
I do
lungs.
kind of
You know?
like this. This could be fun.
It's a really good idea. All I can hear is like the Caddyshack
And
theme
then,
in my
yeah, and then I get to live out
I'm
my dream
alright.
of being a golf cart karaoke girl. I mean, always wanted to do that.
I feel like we're
Golf
gonna make
cart
shirts.
karaoke girl. I feel like that is a
Yeah.
TikTok that we are going to make.
A TikTok and then probably a T-shirt. We can have team T-shirts.
It's happening.
All right, so back on track. Beckie will have lots to add in the chamber chatter, so stay tuned for that coming up next. But before we go, is there anything that the group needs to add?
Oh, we forgot the Southwest Arkansas District Livestock Show. That's going to be in April the 10th. It's beginning at 10. It's at the Fair Park Coliseum.
Well, now it's time for Chamber Chatter with Beckie Moore from the Hope Hempstead County Chamber of Commerce. Beckie, we're so happy to have you in the studio today.
I'm happy to sit and chat with you today. Let's have some chatter.
Exactly. So what is the chatter over at the Chamber these days?
I'm not going to be as clever as that, Amanda. You know I'm not. Well, let's start at the very beginning because I do have a chatter cheat sheet.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
So the first thing, at this time of year, every year, we're always talking, the Chamber's always talking about annual meeting and banquet, but we're going to skip over that line right now and go straight for the Chamber Awards. And so every year, it's so exciting for people to submit their nominees for citizen, educator, business, and then last year we added nonprofit of the year. And we have those forms at the Chamber, And we can also email them, because some people don't want to run down and pick them up, and I get it. So all they have to do is call us, and I'll be happy to email the forms.
And she drops some off, so we have some here at Hempstead Hall as well if you want to stop by and see us.
And the forms are basically the same. I will always encourage people, though, not to just fill in the blanks, but to always put some thought behind it.
Yes.
And write a letter of support for your nominee and all of the nominees. And if you only want to nominate a Citizen of the Year, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to pick up all 4 forms. But we do encourage some words other than just a fill in the blank. That helps the selection
and
committee.
those are nice when you get to have the award ceremony, because we read from those letters, and the
Right.
words that are there are just always, I don't know, the nicest little part of that award.
And then, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because we do use the words of the nominees and the nominators, said the wrong word. And then once the awards have been announced, each winner receives all of those letters.
Aw.
And we don't want them to get up one sheet with a yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
Yes. No. Yes. No.
We want them to really hear how great they are. And they keep them forever. Last year I laughed and I said, because we did a virtual celebration last year, and even though it was wonderful, they just didn't have the applause behind it and their big hurrah moment. So I said, well, just anytime you're feeling low throughout the year, just open those letters and enjoy all the wonderful praise. And I think they probably did. I hope they did.
So remind us, who are the winners from last year?
Ooh, okay. I knew you were going to say it, and I didn't write it down. Let's see.
Let's see if I can guess. How
Recall.
about this?
Okay. All right. Citizen of the Year.
Cherry Stewart.
Ding ding. Okay. Educator. You almost said it.
Mandy.
There you go.
Townsend.
There you go. And it was so much fun surprising all of these, and she truly, and Sherry was surprised as well. Okay. Business of the Year.
Farmers.
There you go. And I promise Amanda is not looking at the answers. Her brain is working.
And I do remember that Rock was the nonprofit of the year. So.
Yay. Very good. I don't have a prize for you. I'm sorry.
Oh, well.
A Watermelon Festival T-shirt.
You're prize enough. Just being here is prize enough.
I don't have a chatter prize. No, that was great. But we do want them to see and be seen, because typically the award winners will ride in the Christmas parade.
Yes.
That was canceled. So, just want for their year.
So do you think that the next time we get to have a Christmas parade that we'll have 2?
I think we should.
I think we should too. It'd be
Here
fun.
come 2 Citizens of the Year. I think we have to.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get to wave to the crowd.
We need the fanfare for all of those people.
We do. But it really was sweet. And it means something, obviously, it means something to those who win. And when you go back and look at all the years of the nominees, it's pretty spectacular. And many of them, sad to say, have passed on. But those who won back in the early 70s, who still live here, are still very, very much involved. And so we know that we picked good selection. We made good selection during all of those years, but it is nice to go back and see and review.
Well, nice. So what else is happening over in your neck of the woods?
I thought maybe this might be another good opportunity to say hello to some of our new members. And
Yes.
Because, again, 2020 brought some quiet moments. So we're celebrating some great store openings, some great businesses, some new nonprofits. So just recently, we welcomed Vintage Girls Boutique and More downtown.
And it's such a cute little place.
It is.
Chloe, have you been in there? Oh, you need to go. It's so fun. You would love it.
It's just make sure you have plenty of time when you walk in.
Yes.
Because every little corner is you find a new thing to be excited about. She offers everything from ladies' clothing to wonderful candles that are made locally, which we get very excited about that. Cookies and candies, and it's just a fun place.
Well, and I think at some point, and Connie, please don't get mad at me for sharing this, but I think at some point she's going to have private events like classes and things like that in the
she is now
the maker space part of it. So yeah,
now that you've
you're
put it
welcome,
out
Connie.
there.
You're welcome.
And the date for that will be No, so Vintage Girls, welcome. Risen 11, a young lady named Camille Nelson stopped by not too many weeks ago, and she has family members with lupus.
Okay.
And so she wants to raise awareness and also raise money for programs and services when it comes to the disease of lupus. And she wants to have a walk. And so she's starting to plan. We've been visiting off and on. And I think this is a good time to also mention the Chamber will partner with anyone and everyone, but in order to advertise whatever event or program is coming up, we advertise for Chamber members. Mm-hmm. And so I never want anyone to think that's our hook, but it's one of our benefits. Yes. So we always encourage folks to join the Chamber for many reasons. And but she quickly said yes. So Risen 11 is, and folks will be able to learn more about the Lupus 5K and a fun run. So that'll come up later. Okay. Then we want to welcome Brandy Armstrong with Platinum Auto.
Welcome.
So and then this is kind of cool. Mark Gunner with Eclipse Bid. Now Eclipse Bid is an event planning business that will come up, and I know this sounds like it's a long way off, but we will be able to celebrate a total eclipse in 2024.
Okay.
And so, yes, we have something on our books in 2024. And then we also want to welcome George and Debbie Garrett. And I want to specifically point that out because many folks might not be aware that if you don't have a business in Hope, now, of course, George continues to work, Debbie is retired, but couples, individuals can become Chamber members, and we definitely welcome that. So these are our latest and greatest as far as our Chamber members.
Well, welcome to the Chamber, everyone. Okay, so you talked about some of the benefits that you would get as a Chamber member.
Yes.
And I have to assume one of the big benefits is all of the events and activities that you plan for your members and for all of our community. So What are you looking forward to?
Oh, we have a long list, and it really is exciting because as restrictions are lifting, we do have a little bit more freedom, and people are calling the Chamber and saying, "Oh, here's an idea. This is what we want to do." So this weekend, March 12th and 13th, the Garrett Memorial Christian School senior class will hold a garage sale. Although it's not in a garage. It's going to be downtown at 217 South Main. That was formerly the Karen's Boutique location.
Okay.
So they moved in. I was just bowled over, and everybody will be when they see it. They ask for contributions for their sale, and they're raising money, like I said, for missions. And so Friday and Saturday, I believe they open at 7, but I'll know more after Let's Go Live today at 3, because we're going to go live at 217 South Main. And so this will happen, obviously, before the podcast. So hopefully everybody came down and shopped. And then another fun thing that we've never done before, but like many nonprofits, we borrow, and I'm using air quotes for those who can't see, we borrow ideas from each other. And so one of the Main Street communities, and we all check and see what others or other downtowns are doing. And there is such a thing as a downtown story walk.
Oh, you were talking about this earlier, and this is such a cool idea. Everyone really listen to it. You're going to want to come out to the downtown and experience this.
I think it will be fun. Anything that we can do that's going to generate foot traffic in downtown is a plus.
Yes.
And so the story walk will do just that. And so we partnered with Hempstead County Library. Now, this really just started today, so this is how fast. This is how quickly we move on this. And we're going to celebrate St. Patrick's Day during the story walk. So they have selected a really neat book, and they are going to have page by page, individual pages, so they're not tearing the book apart, I promise, but great for Southwest Arkansas Co-op also. They're going to print the each page of the book and have it laminated. And so for those who want to participate in Story Walk, they just go to the storefront, and they will all be listed so people will know where to find the pages of the book. We're going to begin the book at the front window of the chamber.
Okay.
So they will read the title of the book and the first page. And then underneath, it will tell you where to find page 2.
Okay.
So throughout the walk to read the entire book pertaining to St. Patrick's Day, you will have walked downtown.
Oh, that's going to be so cool.
Isn't
And Courtney and Jamie are actually going to be our guests next week.
Great.
So they'll get to give us an update of how that went.
And we're not just going to do it on St. Patrick's Day, because we do want to leave it up quite a few days so people will have time to participate. So started the chamber, and again, you'll see more and more and more about this. I wish I knew the title of the book, but again, we just did this. So we just put these plans in place. But those girls rock and roll with anything, so I'm so thankful for that. We are launching our coffees, community coffees again. And we spoke about this the last chamber chatter, but an update on that. We are having a drive-through chamber community coffee, thanks to the Lentz folks who proved that drive-through is a good thing to do. And so on April the 7th, 9:30 to 11, that's your typical chamber community coffee time. The host and the location will be Garrett Memorial Christian School.
Okay.
They have the means to host it in their huge parking lot, so that's good. And then on Saturday, April the 24th, downtown businesses, we're getting excited for warmer weather, for springtime activities. So the downtown businesses will celebrate a Super Saturday sidewalk sale. Say that 5 times
That's
fast.
what I was just thinking. That is a tongue twister.
So we will have some live music. Yay, Arnetta Bradford. Yay. I'm going to call out Jeff because we know Jeff Smith's going to do it.
Well, he is now.
I'm going to go in and say Betsy McCorkle. Let's see who else. We're going to gather some people, I should say. And then one of our local businesses, happens to be one of our newest members, Vintage Girls, will actually host a book signing. And the author's name is Pat Taylor. And more news to come on that. So that's going to be fun.
That is going to be fun.
And then we chose Saturday, April the 24th, because that will be the kickoff for Plowboys Cruise Night. And we always look forward to when the Plowboys come to town. Of course, they'll be lined up on Main, beginning at Tailgaters and then back. And so from 6 to 8 on April the 24th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., they'll be downtown.
Okay. So it looks like the Civitan Club is also doing a drive-through business after hours. How is that going to work? Tell us about that.
They will once again, hallelujah for the hub. They will be in the hub on April the 13th. And so from 4:30 to 6 p.m., those are the hours that we typically have business after hours. And Civitans have hosted business after hours for 2 years now. So they wanted to jump back in and start it again.
I love it.
And so this will be the first business after hours. And again, details will unfold as we have them. So thank you, because I did skip over that date. April the 13th in the hub, the Hope Civitan Club, 4:30 to 6 p.m. So again, a drive-through, and we'll just see what happens. Because that's what we're doing these days, right?
That's right. Well, we're finding some way to get back to something that looks like normal.
Right. Trying to gather as safely as possible.
Yes.
Oh, when that one time happens, and I would love to name the event that I hope that it will happen, where restrictions are few and far between. What a day.
Yes.
What a day. So, we miss those moments.
Yes.
Let me just throw this into the mix as well. If you want to be involved with the Chamber in a cool way, an exciting way, we invite you to apply to be a Chamber ambassador. You don't have to do quite a bit, but as far as an application, it is an application process. The Chamber ambassadors, I always say, are our eyes and ears and hands and feet in the community. And soon we will be able to have ribbon cuttings and hopefully groundbreakings and grand openings. We have 7 business awaiting ribbon cuttings right now, but it's just not time.
Right.
And the ambassadors are there. So if you wanted to be involved in a way that does not commit you to a ton of committee meetings, but just a fun time to gather and to assist the Chamber and be a part of the community, Chamber ambassador is the way to go. And we have those applications. They just have to call the Chamber, and we'll be happy to send them one.
Well, okay. And then, of course, the Blessing Box and the community books are still, the Blessing Box is over in front of the courthouse, correct? The old courthouse?
They have 2. Well, no, actually, they have 3 now,
Okay.
I think. So Hope Connection, it's a wonderful nonprofit in our community, and they have made such a difference in such a brief span of time. The Blessing Box was their idea, and I love that they say blessing. Yes. That's a good Southern thing to say. So you can bless in many ways. If you have food items, toiletries, anything that you would like to place in these boxes for others in need, please bless that way. If you are in need of any of the items, that's a blessing for you to be able to come and get them. And so it works both ways. And oh my goodness, it's been amazing. We have one of the blessing boxes sitting in front of the Chamber at 201 South Main. One is, like you said, across from the present day courthouse, because that's where the Hope Connection office is. And then there is one, and I know it's supposed to be there. Have I checked on it? No. But there will be one if it's not there in the where Manpower, give a shout out to Manpower, Razorback Tans.
Okay.
That
the,
area.
The shopping center by Super One.
Yes,
Okay.
there you go. And so I think they're putting one there if they've not already.
Okay.
So they wanted to cover pretty much the whole an area where people could walk easily, or if they're shopping and they see it and want to donate. I think it's great to have it close to Super One, because if you putting in canned goods or something like that in the blessing box, I will say it is needed and it is used. Yesterday, 3 different times we had to refill it.
Oh, wow.
So people are in need, and I love our community because they want to give. And so the minute I posted and said, well, it's looking a little empty, it didn't take long, and here they go. And then we also, you mentioned the community book share. Thanks to Katie Ella Webster, this was a project of hers at Unity Church, so that's why community, unity being printed in the large letters. She's utilizing one of the old newspaper dispensers, has it filled with wonderful books for all ages, clean in content. I have to keep almost hashtagging that. And it's just such a joy to see people utilizing that as well. We have some fan favorites, I believe, who come in every week and they take a book and they read it, bring it back, take another one. And that's the purpose of it.
Well, that's exciting. Well, Beckie, anything else before we go? Is there any other chatter that's coming out of the chamber?
There's some that I think we're going to hold on to the next time. I'm not going to call anybody out, put anything out there till we have it, the plan solidified. So right now, let's not put anything. But I do thank you for the opportunity, and it is so much more fun sitting here conversing, looking at you. Instead of doing it remotely. So thank you for allowing me to come to the table.
Yes. Well, thank you for being here.
Okay.
And we'll see you next time on the next edition of Chamber Chatter. Thanks, Beckie.
Thank you. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you for listening to Hope Grown, a Thrive Hempstead County podcast. We can't wait to continue the conversation about how we are and will continue to thrive. Join us next week when Courtney McNeil joins us from the Hempstead County Library. Hope Grown is produced by Hempstead Hall and supported by the Hempstead County community. Special thanks to Catherine Daniels and Chloe Russell for making us sound good every week. And if you need tips on how to weigh a penguin, please go check out their social media accounts. From everyone here at Hope Grown, I hope you have a wonderful week. I'm Amanda Lance.
Lindsey Honea.
I'm Jennifer Block.
And I'm Jennifer Cunningham.
Thrive
on.